get to the money. Gotta get to the money. Early morning, so you know that I'm on it. So you know that I'm on it. Gotta make sure that my family straight. Gotta make sure that the kids in there. Gotta make sure that the bills is paid. And then let's get to the money. Get to the money. Early morning, so you know that I'm on it. And gotta make sure that my family straight. Gotta make sure that the kids in there. Gotta make sure that the bills is paid. And then let's get to the money. Get to the money.
Welcome to another episode of Drinking After Dark, a podcast where we discuss random topics while having a few drinks. I'm your host, Darius, and as always, drink responsibly. And y'all make sure y'all follow Drinking After Dark podcast on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and y'all make sure y'all like and subscribe to Drinking After Dark podcast YouTube channel. Tonight, y'all know what I'm drinking on. I'm drinking on my Crown Royal Vanilla mixed with Dr. Pepper Cream Soda. And before we get started, I also want to give a huge shout out to my sponsor, Joe Shakinab at shakinab.com. Go visit shakinab.com for services, monthly updates, and contact information. Once again, visit shakinab.com, promoting leadership and scholarship. Tonight, we're going to have a great episode. It's just me tonight, so there's some things that I want to talk about, and it's pretty much involved in sports world. So we're going to get right into it. Let's get right into this first topic. We got to talk about the big news. A lot of people have been talking about on different media outlets. I know different podcasts and stuff like that. The Boston Celtics, Ime Udoka situation. For those who don't know, Ime Udoka, I guess he's currently still the head coach for the Boston Celtics. We'll see how long that lasts. But he's been suspended for the entire upcoming NBA season due to his improper relationship with a female staff member within the organization. So for those who don't know, the Boston Celtics has they have done an independent investigation. They hired a law firm to do an independent investigation on this improper, relationship between two of their employees. And after their findings, the Boston Celtics leaked the information out saying that the head coach, Udoka, will be disciplined, but nobody really knew, but it was a possibility it could be a lengthy suspension. And after, the verdict came in and everything like that, they decided to suspend him for an entire NBA season. Now, he had sexual relations with a female staff employee. It was consensual, and he got a year suspended. Now, it's their team policy, the organizational policy, that, two employees shouldn't be engaging in something like that. Now, we all know in the real world, stuff like that happens, right? Because you're pretty much with your coworkers longer than you are at home. So eventually stuff like that happens. We all know what happens, whether it's a fast food place or it's a multi-billion-dollar tech company. Who knows, right? But it happens on all levels. And the fact that he was suspended for a year have a lot of people speculating because they haven't really gave out details to why he was suspended for a season, but also too, why was this information even out? Because we're thinking like, okay, if it's violation of team rules, he might face some disciplinary actions, but the fact that it was a year long, now people are come to understand that it was somebody probably higher up that he was having some relations with. We're not going to get into that because it hasn't really truly been confirmed yet. It's just all talk. But And it has to be some other stuff that it was in those findings to where he was suspended for a whole year. Now, the Boston Celtics knew about this back in July. So I guess they knew about this after the Celtics lost to the Warriors in the NBA Finals. And I've seen a lot of people talk about this particular situation, how they're bringing up, his relationship. For those who don't know, he was in a relationship with Nia Long. We don't know if they were actually still together at the time or what the situation is. But, a lot of people are like, man, why he do that? That's Nia Long. Why would you do that? I'll get into that in a second. But I'm just going to give you my viewpoint on this. One, I don't think it should have been leaked. I don't think the Boston Celtics should have leaked this whatsoever. If it was, team rules, if it's an organizational policy, I'm pretty sure that everybody in that organization had to sign, for, I understand from the Boston Celtics standpoint that you don't want anything to come out and all of a sudden now you're in the middle of it. So I understand you're trying to protect yourself. I get that. But to me, I don't know why it was leaked without even truly giving out the details. We all know there was a sexual relationship between two consenting adults. And even though it was improper, it could have been handled behind closed doors, probably like, a little suspension, a fine, but more than that, it had to be something more to get a whole year. And it's not even guaranteed that he's going to come back the following season and coach his team. Also, too, a lot of people have asked how come the other person involved has not been suspended. And they said, no, nobody else will be suspended or be punished for this. And it's kind of like, why not? If there was two people involved, right, that we know of, one of them just happened to be the head coach, the other one has a female staffer, which there's some talk about who this person is. I'm not going to get into that, but if y'all in the comments, man, y'all comment below. Y'all tell me what y'all think. But I just think that the punishment was not warranted unless if, like I said, if you're going to put it out there for the media and different media outlets, whether it's, sports talk shows or even like the sports podcasts or, content creators who talk about sports, give the details. Don't say, well, we're going to do this and not give anything. Even after the press conference, don't give us anything. But I just think that there's something more to this. It should have been kept internally. I don't think it should have been made, publicly. Now, if this was going to happen, then you could speculate whatever whatever the case may be. But if you just say it was a violation of team rules and we take this particular rule seriously, nobody would talk about it. No, they'll talk about it a little bit, but they'll talk about how it's going to mess with the Boston Celtics for next season. His first season, Coach Udoka's first season with the Boston Celtics, took him all the way to the NBA Finals. You can see this team growing, coming together. And of course, they were missing they needed some pieces, which they fulfilled. Of course, they got injuries, early on. Robert Williams will be out for a significant time period. But, you start seeing this team like, oh, this team could possibly get back. Now they got to face this. And now they'll put a 34-year-old coach in there, which, he'll probably do a good job. It's just going to come down to those key moments, X's and O's. But back to the whole Ime Udoka situation. Do I feel bad that he's suspended? No, because this is the rules. You can face some punishment and everything like that. But I just think that more so than anything else, if you're gonna do something like that, as many times you're on the road, you're out and about alone by yourself, it didn't have to be somebody within that organization. Okay. Now every team has their own set of rules, everybody has to abide by. So it's different from everybody else. But his situation, I think what makes it why it's so heightened is because he is the head coach of the Boston Celtics, which is a major media market, up there. And not only that, but he is also connected to Nia Long. Now, when you see people, I've seen people on Twitter, I've seen people on TikTok were like, man, he really cheated on Nia Long. I'm thinking to myself, does that really surprise any of you? Have you not seen the history? I'm like, look at this. Halle Berry was cheated on. Beyonce was cheated on. Right? And we asked those same questions back then. Like, you cheated on Halle Berry, you cheated on Beyonce. Now we saying the same thing about Nia Long, which, we don't know the extent of the relationship right now, but we could somewhat guess they were together at the time. So I just think that just because you're a beautiful woman don't mean that, something like this will never happen, right? Even if you're a man with a lot of money, don't think that a woman would never cheat on you because you got a lot of money. So it's a bad look all the way around. And I don't, like I said, nobody knows the actual details of the reasoning behind the suspension, the year-long suspension. Not only that, but when the Boston Celtics first made this public, and you start seeing people on social media, just whoever is employed by the Boston Celtics posting pictures of this, it could be this person, it could be this person. And when they came out with their press conference talking about, what people are doing, posting, pictures of the female employees, it's just irresponsible, all that stuff. But you put it out there, you didn't protect them. Like I said, all of this could have been done internally. It didn't have to be public, right? Why is it that you make this public? I'm not understanding it. So the way everything was handled from the Boston Celtics standpoint and also from Ime Udoka's standpoint, it was just a bad look all the way around. But I do know that they will move on from it because it's going to be, they're going to deal with the news in the beginning. When the season starts, they're going to deal with it in the beginning. But as time goes on, everybody's going to move on from it. And we're going to see how this is going to affect the team during the regular season. So just let me know. Let me know in the comments what y'all think about the whole situation. I know it's been a lot of talk about this. I don't know why it was such a big thing. When you hear two consenting adults doing something like that, which is kind of normal in terms of the workplace and everything, especially when you work together so often and you spend so much time with your coworkers, stuff like this does happen, but it is also against, their team policy. So I just think that, the rules, you got to suffer the consequences. You could disagree or agree with the punishment. But, I think we all can agree that, yeah, he should be punished. But as more details come out, I guess more people will be, if they do come out, I think more people will have other opinions about the whole thing. But I don't think this is going to be the last of the story. So we're just going to leave it at that. We're going to see how all this plays out. If it does come out to light, we never know. So we're just gonna keep an eye on it. You know, we'll see. I wish they would just kept it private. That's my only thing about it. Like Stephen A. Smith said, why make this public? It was basically an internal issue. It was an internal issue. You should have kept it privately. Then y'all suspended him. They could speculate if it was team rules. You know, if it was egregious, so be it. Everybody accepted. But when you open that door and you don't explain nothing, now you add all the speculation and all this talk and all that stuff. So, I mean, it was just handled poorly, in my opinion. It was. But let's go and move on to the next. Let's go and move on to the next topic. Before we move on to the next topic, I just want to say, if you want to support the podcast, please follow Drinking After Dark podcast on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and please like and subscribe this video. YouTube. I'm trying to get these YouTube numbers up. So let's go and get these subscribers up, man. Tell your friends and family about it. Also, too, if there's anything that y'all want me to talk about, put in the comment section or whatever. Or if there's any type of drink that you want me to try, I'll try it out. I'll probably talk about it. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. So we'll just go, just let me know. Let me know. I'm always looking to, try some new things. So leave it in the comment section, man, what I should try next. All right. So let's go on to this next topic. Now, this next topic that I'm about to bring up hasn't really been talked about enough. And it kind of pisses me off because you've seen all the sports shows talking about the whole Ime Udoka situation for like 2 days. And it's going to continue to come out more information, right? But this particular situation is disgusting to me, right? Not saying what happened with Ime Udoka wasn't disgusting. It was bad, but I'm going to talk about this particular situation. Brett Farve, if y'all don't know, is a Mississippi native, NFL Hall of Famer, in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game of football. But there's been some news that came out about him, which I'm surprised that, especially on sports shows, it hasn't been talked about enough. How he took money that was supposed to be given to those on welfare. And not only him, but the former governor of Mississippi and somebody else involved as well. They pretty much did some messed up shit. All right. You took money from those who really need it, and you gave that money to a school which both Brett Favre and the former governor of Mississippi went to, Southern Mississippi, to build a volleyball stadium, $5 million, and then also took some of that money, paid Brett Favre for speaking engagements, which he never made, right? He never did any speaking engagements. So the state was suing him. I guess he paid back the money, haven't paid back the interest. Also, too, he was questioned by the FBI. Also, there was text messages between the parties involved, and even Brett Favre asked, are they going to know where this money is coming from? So in the back of my mind, he knew where this money was coming from. So I just feel like what he did was so egregious. And I'm thinking to myself, how come he's not, being charged with anything? Right? What's going on with, these type of crimes where, you're not really being punished? Stuff like this should be taken, seriously. You know what I mean? You got to take this stuff seriously. Brett Favre, he had his off the field issues as well, right? And they kept brushing that. They kept putting that under the rug. And yet this comes up and it's the same thing. It's like, why is there not enough coverage for what he's done? And first off, let's get one thing straight. I'm not going to hate on, volleyball teams and all of that. But we all know, first off, his daughter was a volleyball player at his alma mater. Get that. But $5 million stadium for a volleyball team that's not going to bring in that much money for the school anyway seems a little ridiculous. And not only that, but he made over $100 million just by playing football. We ain't talking about endorsement deals. You could have donated that money to help build that volleyball stadium or volleyball arena, my bad. You could do that. But instead, you want to take people that's supposed to be meant for others, give that to y'all alma mater, and then pocket that other money for some BS speaking engagements that you never made. And then the current governor of Mississippi went out there and basically didn't like the fact, that he was dodging the questions when he was asked these questions. He was dodging the questions, and then all of a sudden want to turn his focus on Jackson State, talking about we should talk about Jackson State, which is a HBCU, how they taking government money to build a new stadium. Like, are you serious right now? Are you serious? So it's okay for somebody to take government money, misappropriation of funds, to do this stuff for a university, but yet they can't take government money to build a football stadium? Stuff like that, it blows my mind when I hear stuff like that. So you want to, this is why people don't trust government, because government will pick and choose how they want to, I guess, police and hand down punishments, right? The fact that the FBI got involved and no arrest has been made, well, one person has pled guilty. Let's get that. One person has pled guilty to their involvement in all of this. But the fact that he's done this, and I always feel like this. You've done the crime. Why are you hiding behind your lawyers, right? I hate that about people, especially, public figures, rich, wealthy people. You've done this stuff, right? It's been proven. You knew where this money was coming from. You just didn't want nobody to find out. And yet you're going to speak to your lawyers talking about you didn't know where the money came from. I know the lawyers got to do their job. They got to protect their client. But at the same time, I always say this. You got to be a man to face up to it. You did some shady shit. You did that. And yet the university ain't giving back that money. You know what I'm saying? They're not giving back that money. Because here's the thing. Y'all could have had donors to do that. If that was the case, why not get the donors to help build a new arena? Or Brett Favre could have just, with all the money he has made in his career from playing football plus endorsements, why not just, like, here's my gift to you guys. We saw Carmelo Anthony give money back to Syracuse. His own money back to Syracuse. It wasn't can we just pull this money from somewhere and I could just give it to him because I don't want to give my own money to him. No, he gave money back to Syracuse. How come Brett Favre couldn't do the same thing? Out of all places, the volleyball team, because your daughter's on the volleyball team? Are you serious? And the university ain't trying to give that money back? And not only that, but I think this is why those who are struggling financially, they look at situations like this and say, Why are we? And this is something I would say you got to vote for your best interests. I don't talk a lot about politics on my platform, but when you see stuff like this, now you have to say, hey, it's never really been about us because they taking from us and they giving it to somebody else, knowing that money is meant for us. And Mississippi is the poorest state in our country. On top of that, they were already having issues with the water situation down there. But this whole Brett Favre situation started taking place a couple of years prior. So, but it's just now coming into light, everything that's been going on, and it's just sad that these sports talk shows, you know, I know one sports outlet has been talking about this, but the other one hasn't. And you've seen it on ESPN. They haven't really talked about it. The only person I've seen talked about this was Stephen A. Smith. Um, and I think that he was the only one. I'm not sure if anybody else has talked about it. Y'all let me know. But I know on Fox Sports, they have talked about this. I've seen it. So, and you saw people on social media talking about how, when it was somebody else, oh, they blew the news up, right? Michael Vick, the dog fighting, blew that up. Excuse me. You had Jameis Winston stealing crab legs in college, blew that up. You get what I'm saying? And yet, when it comes to Brett Favre stealing money, that's basically what they did. They stole money. Let's call it what it is. Nothing. Nothing at all. And it's sad that it's being brushed under the rug. But I think, there's some pressure that needs to be applied. You have to understand the government, you always gotta have that trust from the people. And stuff like this make people not trust you. So we'll see how everything else will play out. I know there's some people that's really into this investigating, especially the local media down there. So we'll just wait to see how much further along this will come about, and then we'll just go from there. But it's just terrible, man. It's a bad look. It's a bad thing that this happened. And I'll be honest with you, I think should be some charges. I don't care if you do give the money back. I mean, it's the fact that you did it. You should face some, criminal action. That's what I think. If I'm wrong, y'all let me know, but that's just how I feel. All right. So we're gonna get into this last topic real quick. And I'm going to the college football ranks. There's been some great teams out there. Before I get into this topic, the SEC is killing it this year. Shout out to the Tennessee Vols, top 10. I think we were right behind Kentucky. So I think we're like 7 or 8 in the country. So shout out to the Tennessee Vols. I was wrong earlier because from the first game I saw, but you guys are playing football right now. So I'm really excited to see how we're doing. And the quarterback, he better be in the Heisman Trophy conversation. That's all I'm going to say about that. He better be in the Heisman Trophy conversation. If he's not, I'm going to be upset. But the SEC, as always, is dominating college football. We all know when it comes to SEC play, they're going to start. It's going to be some tough games, like really get into the SEC season. But it's going to be fun to watch, really fun to watch. But I just want to get into this topic about a particular school and a particular coach. Arizona State, Herm Edwards. Herm Edwards is a well-respected guy, coach, played in the NFL, coached in the NFL, head coach in the NFL. He was the head coach of the Sun Devils, and which I think this hasn't really got enough attention either, because Arizona State and they handled this so bad. I don't know what it is about people handling situations. Like y'all can't handle shit anymore. Like I'm not understanding this. What the hell is going on? Men played the game, they lost. Now, for some background, Herm Edwards came in and basically turned around the program. Okay, turned around the program, and you start seeing these players. They're playing hard, they were winning games and everything. This season hasn't really been going their way the way they expected, but I think given the track record, I think Herm Edwards should have had a chance to really get this team back on track. They lost the game, not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before last. And he was met by his two bosses at the end zone. Right out, wasn't in the locker room. It wasn't in the office. It was right there on the field. He was let go right there on the field. And I'm saying to myself, y'all didn't have the decency. Y'all, first off, y'all knew y'all was going to fire this coach. Let's get this out the way. You knew y'all was going to fire this coach. And the way y'all went about it, I think y'all should have been investigated by the NCAA, in my opinion, because you had his assistant coaches leaking out information to their opponents just to get them fired, just to get him fired. Why? Why not just let him go? He was on a short leash. Why not just say, hey, listen, after this game, or even just after this season, to say, hey, we're going to let you go. But we don't want anybody else to know about this. But if you have a great season, maybe our minds could change. But after the season is over with, we're going to let you go. We already have a head coach in waiting. So, just handle it something like that. No, but you had his assistant coaches go give information to them so they could basically in a way, purposely lose so you could get rid of this guy. And as a player, I'm like, wait a minute. So we're giving out information. Now my safety is at risk. Well, I'm going to play for a school that handle this and they ain't handle some men. That's bullshit. I would not want to play for a school who I know for a fact, if I play for a coach who they respect and you're giving out information, right, about what we're doing and this is what the game plan probably will be, do you know that will put me at risk for serious injuries? Are you serious? And I hope these players, I hope they stand up, because like I said, this was 2 Saturdays ago. They got beat last Saturday. Okay, even with the coaching change, they got beat. I hope these players stand up and say, what y'all did was stupid. It was wrong. Y'all acted like little boys in this case. Y'all should have, handled this like men. Herm Edwards is a stand-up guy, and the way that y'all handled his firing was completely wrong. And like I said, I think the NCAA probably need to look into this. They got to look into this, right? Because even if I was a coach on that staff, why would I take that job? Knowing the fact that they might pull some shit like that to me. Because when you do it once, you can do it again. And I just think that they could have came out, right? Maybe even say face, we publicly apologize. Don't send a letter. Do it on camera. We publicly apologize to Herm Edwards. And coach, listen, I'm a fan of yours. the way you talk about the game of football, the way you coach the game of football, I'm a fan of yours. Coach Herm Edwards, if you ever, this is my invitation to you. If you ever want to come on Drinking After Dark podcast and just talk football, we ain't got to talk about the situation. Feel free. People, y'all let him know that I'm reaching out to him. So, I'm inviting you onto the platform. We ain't got to drink or nothing. We could, drink some sweet tea or lemonade, Kool-Aid, whatever, sports drinks. Or if you want to have a drink, cool. I'm down with that. But I think that the way they handled this was just so bad. And I just feel like if you're a guy who is, I don't care if you're a black coach, white coach, Asian coach, Hispanic coach. If you're an aspiring head coach on the college football ranking, on the college football ranks, and this job was opening, I would not even look at that position. Because you have to think in the back of your mind how they treated the previous head coach. After he turned that program around, made them respectable. So those two men who was on that field with Coach Herm Edwards, and y'all did that, y'all don't get no respect from me. Y'all don't get no respect. And, I hope how all of this was handled. Hopefully there's some consequences behind this. That's all. I just think that it could have been done differently. Y'all could have let this man go on Monday. See what I'm saying? Y'all ain't have to be in front of the cameras. I don't get it now. Why people gotta be in front of the cameras and leak this stuff or do this stuff on purpose? I'm not understanding this. But do it behind closed doors. And then y'all say, hey, look, we just decided to part ways with coach. We all understand that coaches get fired all the time, okay? Whether it's on a pro level, college level, it happens, okay? We get it, but not like that. There's a right way and a wrong way to do things, and that was the absolute wrong way. But we're coming to an end of the episode right now. I just want to say thank you for everybody who's been supporting the podcast, Bringing Up the Dark podcast. Once again, make sure y'all follow on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and y'all please make sure y'all like and subscribe to this channel, Drinking After Dark podcast YouTube channel. Also, new episodes are available every Friday on YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. So please check it out. Tell your friends and family about it. If you want to be a guest on the platform, please send a DM to Drinking After Dark podcast on Facebook and Instagram. Or if you also want to sponsor Drinking After Dark podcast, same thing, send a DM to Drinking After Dark podcast Facebook or Instagram page. Until next time, this was a pleasure. Y'all make sure y'all stay safe. Y'all drink responsibly. This is Darius from Drinking After Dark podcast, and we out. Peace.
Gotta get to the money. Gotta get to the money. Early morning, so you know that I'm on it. So you know that I'm on it. Gotta make sure that my family straight. Gotta make sure that the kids and me. Gotta make sure that the bills is paid. And then let's get to the money. Get to the money. Early morning, so you know that I'm on it. And gotta make sure that my family straight. Gotta make sure that the kids and they. Gotta make sure that the bills is paid. And then let's get to the money. Get to the money.